Hi friends, welcome to another home visit from my home to yours. I hope you are all doing well. What's the weather like where you are today? Looking out my window, it is sunny and bright and warm, and that always makes me feel so happy. I hope you're having a sunny day where you are too. So today we are going to do our Little Red Hen lesson. Okay, for all of you 4 and 5-year-olds out there, we're going to do our Little Red Hen. So you'll want to get out your Spark packet and get your Little Red Hen book out. And then you'll also want to get your packet of papers that I put in there. We're going to use all of those today. You're going to need scissors, glue, and there should be included in your packet some popsicle sticks and some Play-Doh. You should have some Play-Doh in there too. We're going to use all of those today in our lesson. So, like we usually do, let's start out with our journal. So if you don't have your journal with you, like usual, go ahead and grab a piece of paper. And if you have a pencil, try to use a pencil because that's what you'll be using the most in kindergarten. But if not, you can use a pen or a crayon or a marker, whatever writing utensil you have. And we're going to write our date first. So I'm going to write it differently than we have been. I'm going to use the numbers. So today is April, which is the 4th month. So I'm going to put a 4, and then I'm going to put a dash. And today for me is the 7th. So I'm going to write 7. You can ask an adult in your home what the day is for you so that you write the right date in your journal. And then we all have the same year, 2021. So, should look like this. 4/7/2021. Go ahead and write that in your journal. And then, as usual, write your name. And if you have some trouble writing your name, have an adult in your home write it with a yellow marker or a light colored marker and you can trace it. And if you're really good at writing your name, go ahead and write your last name as well. Then I want you to grab the first paper off of your packet. And we're going to use our scissors to cut those out. Remember, thumb goes in the little hole, fingers go in the big holes, thumb on top. And we're going to try to stay on that dotted line. Thumb on top, chop, chop, chop. Turn the paper, not your hand. Turn the paper. And go ahead and cut out your puzzle pieces. Okay. And we're going to practice writing these letters in our journal. Let's start with the first one. What is this letter? R. R is for robot. R, r, r. R. Robot. R, r, r. So we're going to lay that in our journal. You can glue it in if you want, or you can just lay it in. And let's practice writing our uppercase R. Make a line down, and don't forget to put your hook. Lowercase r, a line and a little hook on top. So it should look like this. R, 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 robot. Okay, let's do our next one. Letter L, 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 lion. Let's write our letter L in our journal. Long line down, short line across, and our lowercase l, which is one line down. Good. And our last one, letter, that's right, letter H. Hat. H. Hat. Make a line down, another line down, and a line across for your uppercase. Make a tall line down, go up to the middle and make a little hill. There's your lowercase. All right. Now, the reason that we chose these letters for today is because they are in the title of our book. If you look at our book, the title is The Little Red Hen. Can you find any letter L's in the title? Very good. I see one right here, and then there's a lowercase l right here. Our other letter is letter R. Can you find any letter R's in our title? Yes, very good. Here's a letter R. And our last letter was letter H. Can you find any letter H's? That's right. We have a letter H right here in the word the, and another letter H over here in the word hen. So we have an uppercase and a lowercase. So our book title today is The Little Red Hen, and the pictures in the book, which are the illustrations, are done by Lucinda McQueen. Before we start reading this book today, I want to go over some vocabulary words with you. Vocabulary words are words that are in the book that you may not know. They're new words, usually, that you've never heard of before. So we're going to talk about the meaning of those words before we start. In your packet, you should see a page that looks like this. These are our vocabulary words. These are all words that are in our story. So let's talk about this first one. Does anyone know what this is? That's right, it's a stove. And what do you use a stove for? Right, cooking, or you can bake inside. Right, you use it to make food, to cook your food. Next, we have this picture. What is this a picture of? Right, these are eggs. And this is 1 dozen eggs. Do you know how many eggs are in a dozen? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 eggs in 1 dozen. So when you buy a carton of eggs from the store, you know that you're getting 12 eggs. Our next picture down here, do you know what this is? Yes, it's a cup. It's a special kind of cup. It's called a measuring cup. And we use this cup when we're measuring how much of something, how much of an ingredient we want to put into our food. So if you're making pancakes, you might want to measure how much milk to pour into your pancakes, or how much pancake flour you want to put in. So this helps us measure so that we put the right amount in. And down here, yes, that is bread. And what do we use bread for? Yep, we can eat it by itself. We can make toast. We can make sandwiches. I'm going to turn the page. These might be a little bit more difficult, but we'll talk about what each one means. First one, do you know what this is? Yes, this is a shovel. And what do you use a shovel for? Right, we might use the shovel to dig. If you're going to have a garden outside, or you want to plant some seeds, you're going to use your shovel to dig a hole. And then right here, this is a new one. This place is called a mill. And a mill, and you'll see in the story, it's a place where you would take your wheat. So these are wheat plants. And you'll take your wheat plants to this mill, and they will grind it up until it's a powder. And that powder is called flour. And what do we use flour for? That's right. We use flour to bake with. I mean, we can bake cakes. You can cook pancakes. You can make fried chicken with flour. There are all kinds of foods that use flour. Okay, so now that we've talked about our vocabulary words, talk about one other thing. In the book, you will see that the little red hen finds some little seeds on the ground. And these little seeds are some grains of wheat. So that's kind of what they will look like. And you can put these in your hand and feel them. And you can even go out and plant some in your yard if you have a yard to plant them in, or in a little cup, and see if you can get anything to grow. Okay, let's read our book. The Little Red Hen. Once upon a time, there was a little red hen who shared her tiny cottage with a goose, a cat, and a dog. The goose was a gossip. She chatted with the neighbors all day long. Do you think it's very nice to gossip and talk about your friends all day? And usually what they say is not very nice. No, it's not very nice to be a gossip. The cat was very vain. She brushed her fur, straightened her whiskers, and polished her claws all day long. All she cared about was how pretty she was. Is it nice to only care about yourself? No, that's not very nice either, is it? The dog was always sleepy. He napped on the front porch swing all day long. And look, he didn't even clean up his mess. Is it nice to sleep all day and not clean up your messes? No, that's not very nice. The little red hen ended up doing all of the work around the house. She cooked, she cleaned, she washed the clothes and took out the trash. She mowed the lawn and raked the leaves. She even did all of the shopping. Who does all of this work in your house? Do you help? One morning on her way to the market, the little red hen found a few grains of wheat. She put them in the pocket of her apron. So there, that's the little grains of wheat I was talking about. She found some. Now, before I go on with the story, I want you to get out the paper that says "Not I" on it. It looks like this. And every time I point to you, I want you to hold this paper up and say, "Not I." When she got home, she asked her friends, "Who will plant these grains of wheat?" "Not I," said the goose. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Then I will plant them myself," said the little red hen, and she did. When the grains of wheat began to sprout, the little red hen cried, "Look, the wheat I planted is coming up. Who will help me take care of it this summer?" "Not I," said the goose. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Then I will take care of it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. All summer long she cared for the growing wheat. She made sure that it got enough water, and she hoed the weeds out carefully between each row. And by the end of summer, the wheat had grown tall, and when it turned from green to gold, she asked her friends, "Who will help me cut and thresh this wheat?" "Not I," said the goose. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Then I will cut and thresh it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. And when all the wheat had been cut and threshed, the little red hen scooped the wheat into the wheelbarrow and said, "This wheat must be ground into flour. Who will help me take it to the mill?" "Not I," said the goose. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Then I will take care of it myself," said the little red hen. The miller ground the wheat into flour and put it into a bag for the little red hen. You see the mill that we were talking about? Then, all by herself, she pushed the bag home in the wheelbarrow. One cool fall morning, not many days later, the little red hen got up early and said, "Today would be a perfect day to bake some bread. Who will help me bake a loaf of bread with the flour I brought home from the mill?" What do you think they said? "Not I," said the goose. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Then I will bake the bread myself," said the little red hen, and she did. She mixed the flour with milk and eggs and butter and salt. She kneaded the dough and shaped it into a nice plump loaf, and then she put the loaf in the oven and watched it as it baked. The smell of the baking bread soon filled the air, and it smelled so delicious. The goose stopped chatting, the cat stopped brushing, and the dog stopped napping. One by one, they came into the kitchen. When the little red hen took the freshly baked loaf of bread out of the oven, she said, "Who will help me eat this bread?" "Oh, what do you think they said?" "I will," said the goose. "I will," said the cat. "And I will," said the dog. "You will," said the little red hen, "who planted the wheat and took care of it?" "I did." "Who cut the wheat? Who threshed it and took it to the mill?" "I did." "Who brought the flour home and baked this loaf of bread?" "I did." Do you think she's going to share the loaf of bread with them after they didn't help her do any of the work? "I did it all by myself, and now I'm going to eat it all by myself." And that's exactly what she did. So, do you think that the goose, the cat, and the dog will help her next time she asks? Yeah, maybe. Maybe they learned their lesson. It's not nice to not help, is it? Okay. Oh, here's another really good picture that I forgot to show you before the book. And this is in your packet as well. It shows you what the wheat looks like. You've probably seen fields like this maybe before, the wheat fields. And then this is what the grains look like that they get from the wheat. And they take these grains to the mill, and then they turn it into flour. Okay. Next, we're going to get this paper out, the one with the circles and the characters. And we're going to cut them out. And go ahead and take some time to cut out the circles the best that you can. Remember, your thumb is on top. You move the paper, not your hand. You just keep turning the paper. Circles are a little bit harder, so you may need to ask an adult to help you if you're not ready for circles yet. That's okay. They are a little bit harder than cutting on a straight line. Go ahead and cut them out the best that you can. Okay. Then you're going to take your popsicle sticks, and you'll need a glue stick. And you'll want to put some glue on the top of each popsicle stick and then stick the head on. So now you have some little characters. You go ahead and stick one on each popsicle. Glue one there. Okay. Once you're finished, we are going to use these characters to retell the story. And when you're first learning to retell a story, it is okay to look back in the book to help you remember, okay? And I'm going to help you remember today. And if you do it more than once, you'll start to get really good at remembering what happened in the story. So at the beginning of the book, there were some characters. Do you remember who they were? There was a little red hen, and a cat, Another character was the dog. And then we have the goose. That's right. Does anyone remember what the goose did all day? That's right. The goose was a gossip. She talked about her friends all day long, and it wasn't very nice. What about the cat? Can you remember what the cat did in the story? All she cared about was how pretty she was, and brushing her hair, polishing her claws. That's all she cared about. And then what about the dog? What did he do all day long? I like to sleep all day long, and I don't clean up my messes. And then we have the little red hen. What did she do all day long? That's right. She had to do all the work, the cooking, the cleaning, everything. Okay, at the beginning of the story, the little red hen was walking, and what did she find? Yeah, she found a little grain of wheat. And what did she do with that little grain of wheat? Yeah, she put it in her pocket. And then she asked her friends, will you help me plant this wheat? And what did her friends say? Not I. Not I. Not I. And she had to do it all by herself. And then what happened to the little seed as she took care of it? It started to grow, and it grew into a beautiful wheat. And when she asked her friends, who will help me take care of this beautiful wheat? What did they say? Not I. Not I. Not I. And she had to take care of it all by herself. And when it was ready to cut, she asked her friends if they would help her, and what did they say? Not I. Not I. Not I. And she had to do it all by herself. And where did the little red hen take the wheat after she cut it? Yes, she took it to the mill. And what did they do with the wheat at the mill? Right, they ground it into flour. She took that flour home, and what did she use the flour to make? Yes, she baked a loaf of bread with that flour. And once that loaf of bread was finished, she asked her friends, who wants to eat the bread? And what did her friends finally say? I will. I will. I will. And did the little red hen share her bread with her friends? No, they did not help her. She ate the bread all by herself. Good job. So I want you to continue to practice retelling the story with your characters until you can tell it all by yourself without looking back at the story. Next, we have a sheet that looks like this. And this tells you the steps that the hen took when she was baking the bread in the story. First, she mixed the ingredients, and then she put it in a pan, and then she put it in the oven, and then she ate the bread. So I want you to cut these pieces out. We're going to mix them up and see if you can put them back into order. So you're going to cut the 4 rectangles out, just like this. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way so you don't see it. Okay, we're going to mix them up, and then we're going to turn them over, and they're not in the right order. I'll tell you that. We're going to put them in the right order. So, what happened first when she was baking the bread? Which one happened first? Did she eat it first? No, you can't eat bread unless you bake it first. So that's definitely not the first one. We'll pull this back. That's not the first. Right, she had to mix the ingredients first. So this was what happened first. What did she do second? Right, she poured the ingredients into the pan. And then which one do you think that happened third? Did she eat the bread or did she need to bake it first? That's right, she needed to bake the bread first. And then last, she ate the bread. So you can practice sequencing the story and the steps that it took to bake the bread. Okay, one more fun activity, and it's in your packet. And this one's really fun. You should have a page that looks like this. It says Little Red Hen Counting Game. So you can get your Play-Doh out. And you want to pretend that your Play-Doh is butter. So what I usually do when I'm pretending that it's butter, I roll it so that it kind of looks like a stick of butter. And I might just take it, you don't even have to use the whole thing, just take a little piece and roll it out with your hands. And while you're doing this, guess what? You're building those muscles in your fingers and your hands, and that will make you a better person, a better hand writer, and it'll also make you a better cutter with your scissors. And we're going to pretend like our scissors is like our knife that's cutting the butter. And so you can take turns going with a partner. You can do this game all by yourself. You can make some cards and write numbers on the back and turn them over and just pick a card, and then you have to do that loaf of bread. There's lots of different ways that you can play this game. If you're doing it by yourself, you just look at the bread and look and see how many pieces of butter it shows you, and then look at the number. This says number 1, and there's 1 piece of butter. So we're going to put 1 piece of butter on the bread. And what you want to do is go ahead and cut out, take your time and cut out a bunch of little pieces of butter so you have them ready. And you just want real tiny little pieces that'll fit on the bread. You can even cut some of these little ones in half if you want. Again, this is really good for your fine motor. And then I'm going to cut this one in half because it's kind of big. And then we have 2, so we're going to put 2 pieces of butter on that piece of bread. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm cutting my pieces even smaller now. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next we have, what comes after 5? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we have 7. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to cut some smaller ones on here so that I have enough. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now I'm going to cut some more little pieces here. We're running out of pieces. I'm going to cut some more. It really is so satisfying to cut Play-Doh. It's such, I mean, you could just sit there and cut Play-Doh for an activity. And it really, it's satisfying, it's fun to do, and it really is good for your muscles in your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cut some more pieces. Let's see if we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, we're down to our last one. What number is that? What number comes after 9? 10. So I'm going to cut some little pieces for our 10, and then we'll stick our butter on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa, that's a lot of butter. I don't think you really in real life need that much butter on your bread, do you? Okay. Another thing you can do with this mat, one of the important skills that they test for kindergarten, and it is on one of our screenings, is knowing what number comes before and what number comes after. So you can just ask, what number comes before 3? Very good. 2 comes before 3. What number comes after 8? After 8. Yes, number 9 comes after 8. When you are counting, which number is the closest to 4? Is it 3 or 8? Which number is the closest to 4? Very good. It's number 3. It's right here next to 4. So that's another activity that you can do to practice your counting, which numbers are the closest, but what number comes before, what number comes after. Another question that they do a lot in the screenings is, which number is the greatest? Is it number 7 or number 2? Which one is the most? Right, number 7 is the most because it's a bigger number. So you want to talk about most and least and use those different vocabulary words like fewest, smallest, greatest, biggest. Use lots of different words because when they do screenings and things, they use different wording and different vocab, and it's very important to build your child's vocabulary. The last paper is just something fun. You can use your crayons and color this picture. And then you can show it to me on our next visit. Okay, that is all I have for you today. I hope you really enjoyed one of my favorite books. I love Little Red Hen, so I hope you really enjoyed the book and the activities that we did today. So I hope to see you soon. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you really, really soon.